Phil.
What's up?
Nothing. What's going on?
Nothing.
We're back to normal.
We are. We got the wheel back.
All the excitement of the 100th episode in the past.
Gone.
We're starting over at 1.
Dropped like 12th grade French.
101. This doesn't quite have the same.
Yeah, it does. It does. It's it does if you think about it. Perception versus reality 101.
Oh.
It sounds pretty cool.
We should have had we should have had an educate. Well, we kind of are having an educational show today, aren't we?
Yeah, we should have. Well, yeah, it's pretty much.
We're educating people about the new equipment.
Exactly. So we got some new balls from Hammer.
Yep.
Ebonite.
Yep.
And Brunswick.
Deviate.
Close.
Which is a brand underneath the Brunswick umbrella. So yeah, correct.
Safe. Yeah, I was safe on that one. I did my homework.
Right. Good job.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you're going to recite them all from memory for all the specs today.
I will. Yeah, this one rolls really good.
It's blue.
It's blue, and it's got some blue in it, and then it hooks. It hooks in the spot of the leg.
Yeah. See.
Yeah. So I really have no news today to report. Nothing. I got nothing.
Well, we're not there yet, so we don't have to worry about that. But maybe by the time we get to the news, you'll have some news to report.
Yeah, nothing's going on.
Oh man, it's really sad. I went to all that trouble for the bingo wheel.
You know what? I watched the show, and the bingo wheel, I got to tell you, it didn't have the emotional attachment.
The pizzazz?
The emotional attachment, the excitement, attachment. It's attachment, and it didn't have the emotional attachment. It didn't have the anxiety that comes when the name gets picked and the wheel's going around.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, it was a obnoxious sound when you spun that basket.
So why don't you just lead with that? You're like, I don't like the sound. Get a bingo wheel that's not as loud, and then we could talk.
No, I like the wheel better. It's more exciting.
It's
more expensive.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was just trying to save you money in the long run.
I know you were.
And make it so like you didn't think I was rigging the wheel every week.
Right. But I
was.
I know you were. I'm willing to forego the expenses because we're going to probably spend less money on the PBA next year. We'll have extra dollars.
Is that right? It's possibly true. All right.
I just don't know why I said that, but
let's do some housekeeping.
All right. Did you put up the Woo box?
I did put up the Woo box right.
The Woo box, how it works is those watching, put your name in. If you're a staff member, don't do it. And then about 3 o'clock in an hour or so, Nick will pick a name from his whatever device he uses, and that person will have 60 seconds. We're shortening it, 60 seconds to respond.
I thought that was only last week.
We're doing it. We kept that part.
No, I don't know. We have to go back to 90, I think.
All right, 90 seconds.
Because we're not picking multiple winners anymore, so.
No, that's true. 90 seconds. You got 90. If you don't answer in 90, we pick somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
If you do respond, you're going to get a spin. If you don't like the gift that is awarded to you from the spin of the wheel, you can yeah, terrible. You could choose again. Then you keep whatever you get.
Mm.
Let's do a practice spin. I'm going with do you have a popular ball cup?
I'm going 3-ball Arsenal. I'm not going to do big spins today. I'm rather tired. So
your arm hurts? Yeah, that was a mediocre spin at best.
And I'll probably spin back with my left hand again. So, here it comes.
Okay.
Oh, triple.
Expensive. And I liked it last week when it cost me about 89 cents.
Yeah, right. Well, maybe like $1.60 with the adjustments.
Yeah, probably. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with tariffs now. So unbelievable. So there's probably going to be a shortage of
chamois and grip sacks.
No, bags and shoes. Besides that, by the end of the year,
market wide.
Yeah, market wide. So if you're in the market for a bag or shoes, this is the lowest price you will probably ever see. What inventories in the country?
Yeah, I mean the short term, that's the way to go. I mean, there's probably going to be a very minimal amount of ordering until things.
Absolutely. I mean, you're not going to take a pair of shoes that you bought now for whatever you're paying, $120 is going to cost you $340 under the new tariff rules. So if you need shoes or a bag, Brunswick has inventory.
Tons.
We do have inventory. We were smart enough to order
a lot.
Well, we got the phone call from DJT and said, tariffs are coming and you guys might want to stock up. And we did. Some of the other companies did not do that. They have a different plan. They stuck to it where they got their product in over the summer. And guess what? It's not coming in. If it does come in, it's going to be 1.5 times higher price-wise. So,
yep.
Yeah, we have a lot of product.
I don't think that's going to stick, but hey.
Hey, you know what? It might stick for a while.
In the short term, maybe. Yeah, but still. Yeah. I mean,
I think in 7 months, there'll be no inventory in the country.
Possibly. We'll find out. Let's see if that prediction comes true.
Write it down.
All right. We ready for the news?
I don't really have much.
All right. Well, maybe after this short, brief intro, we'll have some news. Maybe something will come across the wire.
I'll see if something comes across the wire while I'm waiting.
It's the striking news. Bowling news and views from around the world with your hosts, Brunsnick and Phil Cardinelli. It's the striking news.
So,
anything?
Nah, well, it's interesting. I get up this morning, as I do on every Wednesday, and I flip, put the phone on, I look for some stuff, see if anything interesting is coming on, and I'm saying to myself, man, I really don't think we're going to have much to talk about. The bowling, the team thing was okay. I watched it. It was okay. It wasn't a whole lot. Lo and behold, our ace in the hole, PBA.
Coming through the clutch.
Come through again in the clutch.
It's about to be a slow news week. But
guess what?
I think they choose at this point to release information on Wednesdays.
I think they want it to be on our show.
I mean, where else are they going to get the exposure?
Absolutely right.
Free of charge.
Free of charge.
Free of charge.
To the hundreds of ones that watch the show every week. So it's interesting. So I started doing a little research because I do not want to ever come on this show with bad information about the PBA because it's under a microscope. So apparently they cut a deal with CW. Now, I had to do some research on the company first before I got into the deal because, maybe it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not like we're avid watchers of cable
right,
network.
Exactly, right. So CW stands for CBS and Warner Brothers. So I got excited. Pretty big companies, right? CBS, Warner Brothers. Yeah. Then I read further on down, and they were replaced in 2022 by Nexstar. That's who replaced them, bought them out.
Is that a cell phone company?
No, it's a media group, and they own 75. Not you thinking Nextel. Nextel is a media group. They own 75% interest in the in CW.
Oh, okay.
So I read on further. It is a service like Hulu, YouTube, DirecTV.
Wait, so is it a channel that if someone's on DirecTV?
Yeah, I think you can get it on like DirecTV. Or here's another one. It's broadcasted over the air. Is it like on the line over the air? Does that mean rabbit ears?
Over the air?
Over the air.
I don't know.
That's what it said.
I cut the cable cord like 12 years ago. So
I'm not even sure it's cable. It's over the air.
CW is an over the air channel as well. Okay.
As well, right. It's also free on their app.
Nice.
So I guess you have a smart TV, you put the app on your TV, right? Is that how that works? Because I don't know. I think at this point in time, the PBA should hire people to run door to door and have bowlers get hooked up to this thing to find out where it is. Interesting enough, the president of the company is Dennis Miller, the comedian, president of the company.
Wow. He went from HBO to CW, huh?
Exactly. So here's another interesting thing I read on further. Nexstar focuses on acquiring shows with low production costs.
And they consider PBA a low production cost?
That's what it said.
I mean, they could always go lower.
Was somebody going to draw it and send it up and post it on their Facebook page?
I mean, you can always find a way to cut some expenses.
I agree.
I can think of one way we can cut expenses on that show.
Mm-hmm. How?
I mean, just grab a couple of new announcers right out of college, save a bunch of money that way.
I agree with that. Well, no, that's what's interesting about it. I don't know about the announcement. I didn't even thought about that.
That's what we do on the show. We think about stuff. We just sit in a room like NASA.
That's right.
Thinking stuff up.
Think stuff up. You got guys thinking stuff up of the guys that thinking stuff up. So interestingly enough, and I know we beat up Tom Clark a lot on this show sometimes, and I'm gonna justify that.
What's with we stuff?
Yeah, well, whatever. Here's the deal. If you're the face of the brand, that's what happens. He's the face of the brand. And he's done a good job of taking the heat because a lot of the stuff that goes on is not necessarily his fault.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, this is not his fault. He negotiated the Fox deal. And that made the PBA worth what it was when they sold it. That had zero value-ish without TV. So when they sold it to Bolero bought that, in my opinion, strictly because of the television rights.
Mm-hmm.
They got to advertise their pizza cake, and the bowling is fun, and people jumping up and down, and but Tom was the one who negotiated the Fox deal. So this guy, president of Lucky Strike, which is formerly Bolero, Lev Exter, single-handedly dismantled that Fox deal, I was told.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So the guy's managing this. I'm not sure he could manage his sock drawer the way this one went. I mean, you had a big network willing to redo the deal, and I guess he thought the PBA was much more valuable. One thing I learned a long time ago is something is only worth what someone's going to pay for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair. That goes with a lot of things.
Absolutely. So you could have a set value on what I think it's worth.
Mm-hmm.
And the question is, how far along are you going to go before you realize it's not worth that? And you say, okay, we'll have to settle on something in between.
Maybe
apparently, he skipped negotiations 101 in junior high school because to blow this deal was absolutely astronomically bad. It's just amazing. It's amazing. So now we're at CW. They do 15 hours of primetime entertainment a week.
That's like 2 hours a day, at least.
Primetime entertainment a week, right? They do 400 hours of sports per year. That's 7.6 hours per week.
That's 1 point. Yeah, I was going to say 1.09 per day.
Yes, exactly.
Well, I mean, they're looking to add to their growing stable of
I agree with that.
Sports entertainment. I mean, they're going to increase their.
I think they got the better deal on this one.
Possibly.
They bill themselves at the 5th largest major broadcast network.
Yeah, sure. I don't know what that means.
I'll tell you, they have NASCAR Xfinity Series. I don't know much about NASCAR.
Uh-huh.
I know guys get in cars, they drive around a circle. They got ACC and Pac-12 college football.
Yeah.
AVP beach volleyball.
I'm into
That's
that.
it. Top billings.
I'm a big fan of that.
Are you? You like just watching the women play?
I mean, I'm an athletic supporter, so yeah.
Yeah, you are. I've been saying that for years. So the PBA is going to have 10 live events per year on consecutive Sundays with a 2-hour show. 10.
How are they going to work around NASCAR? Or is NASCAR on Saturday? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, right. It might be.
Can anybody help me?
Yeah. So here's what the comments were. Lev, the negotiator. You call him Lev the negotiator. Said it's a high visibility broadcast.
So you're saying the CW is free, so anybody can watch it. They don't have to be a subscriber to any kind of direct TV or whatever.
Free. So it's an app. You can put the app on your smart TV.
So okay,
there are people without smart TVs, right?
Yeah, I mean, especially when you're trying to operate one, then no TV is smart.
That's right. I have 2 smart TVs now, so that's good. 3 actually. But the one TV I had was not. I had to have a little Fire Stick attached to it to get the apps on it. But anyway.
So someone says the CW app is free. Yes. Can you actually get into the app and watch live streaming stuff, whatever's on TV right now, without DirecTV, without, cable, whatever? So you're saying you can watch that free?
Yeah, I read that about it. You go download the app to your smart TV. You click on the app. You can watch whatever's going on.
Doesn't that defeat the purpose of cable by not having to pay for it?
I don't know.
Whatever.
So here are some of the additional benefits that Lev, the negotiator, is saying. We have greater advertising opportunities. To me, an opportunity of advertising means you have a base that you're drawing from, and it's a large base of consumers that are watching, and you can advertise to them and then go out and buy a product. I don't know how this is considered large. What was Fox considered? Monumental?
I mean, it's got to. I mean, there's no way it's the same.
No,
maybe on NASCAR day or something.
Very possible, but you know what? We've tried that hookup, PBA and NASCAR, and it didn't work.
Yeah, the crossover's not there. They might bowl, but they don't care enough to watch bowling.
Correct. As a matter of fact, we had sponsored a truck when I was at track, the right fender of a truck. And I forget the driver's name, was Terry somebody. And after the 3rd race, we kept yelling, "Turn left, Terry, turn left," because he crashed into the wall on the first turn 3 times in a row.
Forrest,
which wrecked the track logo on the right fender. Anyway, he also claimed, Lev the negotiator claimed, enhanced fan experience.
Sounds like a Viking name when you say that.
I know, that's why I like that. I like that name. Lev the negotiator.
Yes.
And an elevated sports status.
Yeah.
Okay. So they put out a couple of press releases. The PBA put out one, and then there was another one that I found posted on the internet.
I'm not sure how you can say elevated when you're going from a network of Fox Sports to a network. People say, "What is that?
What is that?" Yeah, and I feel bad because, like I said, Tom gets beat up a lot, and this had nothing to do with Tom. If they'd have left Tom alone, he probably would have got a good deal done at Fox.
Are they saying that the PBA is going to catapult the CW network to
That's what's
going to
happen? Well, I'll tell you what. That's what's going to happen. It's not going to be CW network catapulting the PBA to new heights. I think it's going to be a new item in their portfolio that may draw an audience. Now, bear in mind, there are bowling people that watch bowling. Don't get me wrong. But here's a question I have, because I don't know anything about this, and this is a problem going to be for me. I set my DVR for Fox bowling. Mm-hmm. Whenever it's on, it records it. Rerun, not rerun. And then I go and delete what I've seen already, whatever. Can you do that? You can't do that. It's not cable. You can't do that on the app.
So you're saying you want to watch it on your own time?
I have to, because a lot of times, I am. Sometimes I'm busy. And I also I will be honest about this. I also want to fast forward through the commercials and the commentators whenever possible.
Okay. I mean, you can always watch on mute, right?
Yeah, I could, but then I still got to sit there and watch the commercial. So I like to zip through, get rid of that, right? So what this is saying is that you cannot set up your DVR, right? I mean, that's how it works.
I don't know. I don't have a DVR. I don't have whatever.
So I can't somehow.
I make time for bowling.
This. I can't record this. I don't think. If anybody knows a way to do that, let me know. But I'm gonna have a problem with this because I can't. I don't have time to watch it when it's on every single time. I might watch it an hour later. Sometimes it's on when the Yankee game is on.
Oh no, priorities.
Well, you know what? I enjoy watching the Yankee game, and again,
they're bowling. They're bowling January through whatever. So the first 3 months of the year, there's no Yankee game on.
Well, we don't know when they're bowling.
Oh, well, they're bowling for a whole 10 weeks.
Exactly.
At least
10? Which 10?
How much? Yeah, is it consecutive? Is it spread out?
It is consecutive. No, it's consecutive on a Sunday. Consecutive on a Sunday at the same time. A 2-hour show.
They're all live.
Cool. Yeah, it says they're live.
And what's okay? So it's going to make them stay in Reno for 10 weeks. What's going to happen to the Bowl TV live stream? What's happening with the live stream? Is there any?
Didn't say anything about it. No, nobody said anything about that. Now I assume that they would still have that during the week, during qualifying and so on. But for the finals, the 10 shows, and it didn't even say that there were finals only. But there's 10 shows, 10 consecutive weeks, 2-hour shows on a Sunday afternoon.
And what about majors? What about the Masters and US Open? What about those two?
That's all it said was 10 shows.
I mean the USBC, they have the rights to that show, don't they? They have the rights to do whatever they want, right?
PBA owns the shows.
PBA owns the shows. Okay.
Did own the shows.
Right.
Now that doesn't mean that that USBC can't negotiate with Fox to advertise to run the Masters and the Open. I don't know. Or CBS.
I'm just saying that deal's dead now. So
right, but I think CBS comes into play for USBC because the women are on CBS
Sports Network. Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
So they could simply put the Masters and the US Open on that, right?
Yeah. What is there? Five total. Well, I mean, no. There's 2 of theirs, Masters, US Open, but there's 5 total majors, is what I'm saying. Right.
But the Masters and the USBC are the ones that probably could end up on CBS Sports,
which is harder to watch, by the way,
than CW.
Than CW will be, or Fox Sports, because for a lot of people, if they don't have the right service, they don't have CBS Sports Network.
Okay, that's true.
For the most part, Fox Sports Network is on every cable.
No, you're right, on cable, right, exactly.
And I don't think CBS Sports Network had any kind of streaming app that actually worked. At least I haven't checked in a while. I haven't looked, but I just usually I usually just went to Buffalo Wild Wings and watched it there.
Yeah. But I have an app on my phone for Fox Sports and CBS.
Yeah,
I think
but
I do.
I don't think there's one for CBS Sports Network though.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Maybe there is. I gotta look. But anyhow, that's an interesting scenario. And bowlers hate change. We all know that.
Yeah. With the bingo cage, they hated that.
Yeah, but you go 36 weeks of bowling league. You probably eat the same thing on Tuesday night if that's when you bowl, and you do the same thing at 4 o'clock. You start thinking about your league, and I mean it's just a repetition that. And now suddenly, we have to try to find this thing. We have to try to find this thing.
Yeah.
So I think there needs to be a big education from the PBA on how to locate it. If you want people to still watch it.
And this is for 2026. We're done for the year then.
We are done. I think we have whatever's going on this week. Isn't it a playoff this week or something?
Something.
Yeah.
Non-title events, just team stuff or something. I don't know.
It's May, by the way.
Playoff stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, May tomorrow. Done.
Yeah.
So I think they need to do a lot of educating. I am glad at least that I can probably download an app and click the app when I want to watch it. They're going to have to really do a lot of promoting on the PBA website.
What is the temperature in the chat right now? What you're feeling about the CW deal compared to Fox? Initial thoughts. What do you guys think about this? Because we joked about it for a while leading up to this. If there's no TV, what is the PBA worth? How are they going to negotiate? What I mean, obviously, all the details are not out yet, but we know is 10 shows
consecutive Sundays. Consecutive Sundays.
Yep, someone's CW is a loser. CW is better than I thought they would get.
Yeah.
Somebody said I'll just watch when it gets on YouTube. Easy to watch on bunny ears. Not enough tour stops. Meh.
How many people have bunny ears?
About this. A lot of them they have the new age bunny ears, the ones that are powered, USB powered ones.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I just I'm gonna have to retrain myself for this because, like I said, it was easy when I knew I get home from whatever I was doing on a Sunday and bowling was on at 12:30. It was 2:00. I'm watching it.
The next question is this an exclusive deal? Say it's 10 stops consecutive.
Right.
Could they negotiate another 10 stops with another provider?
It didn't say it was exclusive, and it said that there was mention that there were other opportunities available somewhere in these pages of stuff.
Because 10 stops.
PBA. 10, not stops. 10 2-hour shows.
So that sucks.
Right. Yeah. Well,
that's the shortest tour ever.
Yeah. Well,
that should be called the PBA pit stop.
I know it. It's just unbelievable. Yeah, there was some blurb in there about there were other opportunities, possibly other opportunities.
Right.
I don't know exactly where it was, but
yeah,
Does
the World Series of Bowling still happen? That's the other question. That could be 10 stops. Is that 6 or 7 of them right there?
In the World Series, Tom invented that. You should get a T-shirt that invented that, and that was great.
Hey, maybe we're gonna save so much money on product registration.
Yeah.
That it'll make sense to have all 7 brands if they open up to everybody again. If they make it a non-exempt field, how about that?
Well, you know what? And that's the other part. It becomes a non-exempt field. Maybe it does. Maybe all the brands become, they can use them now. Maybe we can still use the shirts and get teams or whatever they're going to do. I just don't think the value of it is as high. When Bolero bought it, they basically paid for the TV contract and whatever value the PBA had. There wasn't much else to that other than the tournament that ran around the country, like a travel league. I mean, think about it. It's a travel league. You go to different states, except they were able to televise it, which made it interesting. And it was more easily accessible. It had diminished over the years from ABC Sports to ESPN to CBS, whatever. And then,
Someone said I need to be an announcer on the CW network.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Don't quit your day job.
Maybe they'll have a job posting. Maybe I'll go for it.
You should.
I mean, I got at least a 2-year contract out of it, right?
10 weeks.
Damn. I don't like this already. All right, I rescind my offer.
Exactly. So hopefully Lev the negotiator comes up with another deal for
Priceline negotiator
for the PBA to have more weeks. I mean, is it going to be 10 consecutive weeks? Maybe they go to another. Now, I'll tell you what might be a bad idea is having another deal somewhere else where you got to figure out where they are.
Yeah, a regular tour in the winter and then a summer tour or whatever, because it's a hard sell to manufacturers who's got to pay for a year of product registration for 10 weeks of product. It should be prorated.
That might have to come down, that price. That what they're charging us now.
My goodness.
Has to come down, I would think. It's not been easy for us, to justify it. I mean, if it were up to me, the return on investment would have to come into play.
Yeah.
We overpaid this year by a lot.
That's the problem. You just can't see it as a payment. You got to see it as a donation.
Really?
Yeah, out of the
You ever
goodness.
try running a company on a donation?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good write-off, right? Good tax write-off.
No. You can't run a company on a donation.
It's a line item. You just expense it, right?
Yeah, I'm expensing it. Yeah,
It's just a nice dinner, like Olive Garden when you come out here.
Doesn't work. You didn't notice my.
Somebody mentioned it in the chat.
Yeah, played in the golf tournament over the weekend.
That's his 6th place medal. They literally give out medals for 6th place.
It was participation.
Congratulations. You drank the least.
We had a good time. We had fun. We did. We really laughed a lot. We had a really good time.
At what? At your tournament.
At the golf tournament. Yeah, we had a good time. We had a lot of fun. I played with my son and my buddy Brent. And we really had a good time. We were supposed to have a 4th, and unfortunately the 4th guy, his sister-in-law, fell ill and he had to go to the hospital. And he was our better player. Not that Joe, my son, and Brent didn't play well, but this guy was a better player. We might have done better than we did.
And you just fancy yourself a putter. That's all you do.
I putted real well again. I did. I always putt well. It's not the putter. It's the putter. And I even hit some good shots. I did. I hit some really good shots.
Well, you still didn't have to use those ones, though, because someone still
we did.
drove you.
A couple of my drives. No. We used a couple of my drives.
Were you playing from the silvers?
I played from the gold.
Of course you did.
They said anybody over 70
can play from those.
Can play from the golds.
So you played right by the women's tees?
No, the Reds. There was if you're over 75, you play from the Reds.
What?
Yeah.
My gosh.
Yeah.
That's a travesty right there, because I know a lot of 70-year-olds
that
play golf that play golf every day.
Yeah.
And they can still hit it 200 from that, which is usually over 100 yards further.
Well, I didn't get much of a break a lot of times. It was like, let me put it this way.
I'm talking about Reds to like the Blues.
Reds is different. Reds, they play from the whites, but
whites. Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, the golds
in a scramble.
I don't care. They made the rules. I just played.
Oh, gosh.
So the golds, I did not get a lot of relief. In many holes, I didn't have to move the cart.
Because somebody just cranked one and you're just like, all right.
No. The golds were so close to the whites. I parked between the two of them. I didn't have to move the cart. It was that close.
Got it.
So there wasn't really a big benefit. I had a couple of drives on mine they used because I hit the fairway and they didn't. But it was good. We had fun. Anyway.
I'm going to post the Woo Box again.
Put the Woo Box up and the rules. And then we'll, I'm sure we're going to have a lot of questions about this PBA thing.
There's been a lot of comments while we were going, but I think we touched on it. We don't have to answer questions on it because it's not our job to answer those questions.
Yeah. So in this case, we got Tom Clark off the hook and Lev the negotiator.
You're just trying to be nice because we want to get him on the show.
No, yeah, I'm going to talk to him next week. I see him next week.
Just be
Maybe
look,
come on.
Just be like, look, he'll be Nick's nice once you get to know him.
Well, here's my pitch. Tom, if you come on, I'll have another co-host that week.
That's not funny.
I think that's hysterical.
Who's gonna run the stream?
Tom.
Tom.
I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, I really like that name we gave him, Lev the Negotiator.
Lev the Negotiator.
Anyway, put up the Woo Box. You did. Put your name in the Woo Box. Half hour or so, we're going to pick a name. We're going to spin the wheel, give away the fortune we have recovered.
The wheel is
hopefully
back.
From product
it's back from the shop.
Yeah, it had to go out. It had to go for a tune-up. It was its 30,000-mile warranty.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna do a practice spin?
I already did one, but I'll do
another
wobbly. I know. You got to adjust the tension on these. I'm going to go slower this time. We'll see.
Go ahead. Oh, that's pretty boring. You can't go that slow. Oh.
See, I tightened up the screw there. If I tighten that real good, then it won't even spin at all.
Yeah, don't tighten it that much.
You could hear it like.
Yeah. Give it one good spin, loosen it up, let it fly.
You need to give it a little. You need to give it a little bit of wobble.
Now we're talking. Let's see. It's gonna come up Chimay.
Grip sack. Here it comes. Nope, there it goes. Oh, new ball. There we go. Now we're cooking.
God.
All right.
Okay, so you guys know the rules on the Woo Box. Let's talk about new product. That's why we're here, right?
We are?
Eventually, we'll get to it. We have some new brands. New balls from Hammer. Not new brands. New balls from Hammer, Deviate, and Ebonite.
Yeah, let's start with the Hammer
Pearl.
ball.
Yeah,
pretty ball.
It is.
Pretty
I like
ball.
I like that logo too.
It is nice. It's like the Biohazard.
Nice, yeah, it is. I like it. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Bless you. See, now people are asking what happened to the bingo balls. They want the bingo. Who here like bingo more than the wheel? Let's see. Let's get a bingo or wheel. Let me know in the chat, because I was dumbfounded. I was dumbfounded when Phil said, "No, the wheel's boring." A bunch of people said it was not good.
Right.
Bingo.
How many people?
Bingo, no bingo, both. Bingo, wheel.
Yeah, wheel. The wheels have it. How many people are in the chat right now? How many people?
333.
Last week we had 400.
Wheel is more fun. He didn't mind bingo. More people won. Yeah, exactly. We can give away more stuff.
I can still give away stuff. I just can't give away the good stuff.
Well, what if it lands on the good stuff?
Then we do it again. It's our turn. We give the gift back if it's good. New rule. Let's talk about the Hazmat Pro. So May 15th was the release date.
Yep.
Hazmat Core has been used a while in the Hazmat series, right? This is not the first one.
This is the third, yeah.
It's the third one. HK22. So that's not the C. It's the first HK22, which is a little bit less aggressive than the HK22C.
Right.
Okay. Obviously, the colors. Let's talk a little bit about the numbers. Okay. You know, when you got a pretty strong differential, 0.55. That's as high as we go.
Yeah, that's about as high as you want to go.
Yeah, legally, because you go higher than that, you're flirting with the
disaster.
The disaster of the Jacko syndrome, when they were making balls that were illegal.
Oopsie.
And got caught. So,
well, to be fair, they weren't illegal to start, but the molds changed over time now, didn't they?
Is that what they said?
I think that's what happened.
The metal molds changed over time.
Who says they use metal?
It's true. They could use polyurethane.
If they use a polyurethane and all the heat, cold,
right, could change the dimension of the mold.
Because it doesn't take much.
I know that because I've been in bowling ball manufacturing for quite some time.
Increase, especially when you're at that limit. All it takes is just a little, like a little peep, poop, poop,
poop, poop, and that's it, right? So that happened to them. But this is 0.55, and then obviously the 16-pounder has a lower diff, which is opposite of what happens with the other hammer balls, especially the urethane ones, where the 16-pounders have higher differentials. And it's 2.48 around that area, almost 2.5 as an RG. So it's a decent RG, not real high, not real low. Yeah, it's a lower side, but it's a higher differential. So you got a low RG, high diff ball.
That is correct. Yep, and it's pearl. It comes off the spot plenty hard.
Yep. And obviously you threw it, right?
I did. It's not as whippy as when you get to like the widows and stuff like that, because those are asymmetric. Right. But that nice step below, like if you're widows or any asim pearl or whatever is just trying to labor a little bit on the back, that's when you start going to the symmetrical ball, like Hazmat Pearl, where the hook window is going to be just a little bit longer.
Right.
Extend out that continuation, and then create a little bit more motion through the pins as the lanes start to break down. I don't think this is a ball for fresh. It might be if you bowl on dry lanes or you just, rev dominant, whatever. But it's a pretty strong ball. I mean, it's not weak. I mean, you say pearl, it's like, oh, it's going to skid forever. It's like, no, not really, because that core is going to get it moving.
Yep.
So, good addition to the line. Pretty unique.
Good.
So next we got
Turbo X. Oh, that brings back memories for a lot of people, I would imagine.
Yeah. I know we have some older folks in the chat. Who had this ball originally in the early 90s? Because I did. I had one of these. It wasn't until like around 2001, 2002, but I found one and I plugged it and re-drilled it for myself. This thing, fantastic ball.
Yeah, that really was, and it was sort of a benchmark ball when resin first came out, the Turbo X.
At the time, yeah.
And then they have a black one too.
Yeah, that was a urethane ball.
Ah, that's what that was. Okay, yeah.
Then they had a couple of different turbos as well that are all urethane, and then Turbo X came out.
Yeah,
but this core is exactly the same as what was before, but the difference is, before it was all thick shell, so it was just core cover. So on some of the specs you might look up online, it said the differential was only 015, but they only took specs at that time off of 16 because that's what everybody threw back in 1992.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, that's what I learned yesterday. Yeah. So when you see 015 and you have a thick shell ball, it's like that makes sense, because if you have that same core and you put in whatever, you have to change the density or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
To make it make a 16, because core is the same size, right?
Yep.
Then you're going to typically lower the RG and lower the diff, and you go higher in weight. So 15, this is the exact same core, same specs of what the original was. So only difference is now we got the outer core, so we can maintain that dynamic integrity all across the board there.
Just about right. And the 16 still drops a little.
Right. But
right.
This ball
HK22 again, not C, HK22. So that's a little less aggressive than the HK22C.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and the additive package,
right?
Yeah, added package in the GB 10.7. That's on the lower range, so that's an older additive package.
Okay.
That was more mild, especially by today's standards. The whole purpose of these kind of bowling balls is to mimic what the original would have been today,
right?
With newer technology. So you still got that higher, medium-ish RG, medium diff. It's going to fit right in the middle of the bag. It's going to be something you can use all 3 games during league.
Yeah. Now, how does that compare to the GB5?
This will be a step down by quite a bit.
Okay, so that's a match if you want to put 2 balls in the bag.
Yeah, if you like the smoother stuff to start and you want something that gives you just a little bit more pop, then you go Turbo X right after that.
Right, exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, great ball. I mean, this was a lot of fun to throw. What I like about the lower differential bowling balls is they maintain their axis rotation a lot better, and subsequently you get a little more hitting power. You don't get as much hook, and you don't get as much coverage as far as covering boards. But if you're down and in player, you bowl on some friction, this is a great ball. If you play them straighter, you can play them straight. If you like to get in and hook it, slow hook it, you can do that too. So the only time it's going to struggle is on heavy oil. It's not meant for that.
But not meant for that is right.
Yeah.
But if you're a low speed player, you probably get away with that on a lot of conditions.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. So, and then the last but not least ball, Hater Pearl. So
the Hater series looked pretty strong, and that wasn't that one of their first ones for with the 2-hand dynamics. I know that was a troublemaker, but
no, that was the Heckler.
I mean the Heckler. I'm sorry, Hater. Got it mixed up.
Heckler. Yeah.
Heckler. Yeah.
Yeah, but the numbers on this core are very unique. You got like a higher RG, 2.539, which is considered pretty high for a high performance ball.
Mm-hmm. And a
very high differential.
Right.
And intermediates very high as well, 24.
That is high. That's usually at the top end of the spectrum for us.
Mm-hmm.
We don't go much higher than that normally.
Yeah.
So I'm going to imagine this hook window gets quick, short. Quick hook window.
It is quick off the spot.
Right.
Typically, when you see balls with like 024 or higher intermediate, you think that where it's going to hook and then set or use all of its energy so quick and then get into its roll. Yeah. But because the cover has that cohesion additive in it, and as well as the Havoc Pearl, it did not do that as much. I actually got a lot of continuation through the pins. The ball wanted to finish on the 8-pin. I haven't put out the video yet. That'll come out tomorrow, but it had great continuation, more sweeping as opposed to just kind of hook set. So I was really surprised by that. I was expecting it to just go use all of its energy and then roll. And then
stop. So what you're saying is that the HK22C, although it's a little more aggressive, doesn't necessarily hook early?
No, I think it kind of blends out that hook window a little bit more and gives it just a little bit more length of the hook window.
Right.
So, yeah, it's a very unique ball, and is for me was better when I can open up my angles. When I played them straight,
right,
a little hard to control, just because it's the strong ASIM with huge numbers and one of the strongest covers, you know. But this is a ball that you can have fun with, open up the lane. If you don't like to hook the ball a lot, this ball will make you look like you hooked the ball a lot. So it's one of those bowling balls that gives you help. You know, it's like buying one of those big drivers with the, the titanium face and
you hit it further in the woods.
So what?
Look how far I hit that. Where is it? I can't find it. It's in the woods.
Yeah, I've never hit it that far into the woods. How am I going to know?
How am I going to know, right? What about the color scheme? It looks pretty cool.
It kind of reminds me of your old Outer Limits a little bit.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
I actually compared them side by side when I looked at them on the wall.
Yeah,
because I was like, how close are they?
This is a little darker.
This doesn't have any blue in it, so there's no
right
blue to compare. But at first glance, you're like, oh wow, yeah, that's definitely. But it's got like the purple. It's like an amethyst almost. It's really cool looking.
Amethyst, very nice.
Nice color name.
It is. So you threw this one as well. Compare it to.
Oh wow.
Stronger than, weaker than.
Man, it's up there with like the only thing I can really compare it to is like the old Quantum Evo Pearl that came out a while back. That one had a differential of 0.24 as well, intermediate. Right. I mean, sorry. And if I had to compare it to something, that's going to be what, if for whatever reason you come out with like a Conspiracy Pearl again or something with cohesion, that could probably be right in the mix as well. Yeah. But very cool ball. I mean, there's a lot of bowling balls that hook like that kind of come off the spot hard. But it has a lot of back end. I was very surprised that it kept going as well. Like I said, normally you see those balls do so much energy work so quick and then lay off, but not this one.
Do you think the reason for that is the HK22C?
I think cohesion makes a big difference. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not a full blend. So like the Hammer Effect, the original Hammer Effect, and the Black Widow Mania are full cohesion additives. Like that's the only additive package in there. But this one has the blend. So how those blend also makes a difference.
Right.
So
the worst scenario is a high intermediate diff that blows up after drilling, and then a very aggressive cover stock.
And that's what the original Hater was. So that original Hater was a stronger, earlier motion. Right. Where if you're bowling on like wet dry and you have a lot of volume, you need that ball to start up before it exits the pattern. Then that's what you would use. If you try to use this one on a fresh pattern, you're gonna be having a little bit of difficult time controlling it, I think. So, but maybe you like to live dangerously. Maybe you wanna
live on the edge.
Maybe you want to work on your 3, 4, 6, 7, 10 split,
Hell yeah. I have not drilled a torpedo yet. But I think I may, simply because of the HK22C.
Do it.
I might try it. I've never thrown HK22C either.
They're telling me to throw it in league next week. My league is over. My league's been over for 3 weeks now. Something like that.
Sissy Boy League. We bowled 12 weeks. And it extends 2 more because of Chris. Hey, you know what? At least you bowl longer than PBA is going to be on CWTV. 10 consecutive.
If you bowled my Thursday night league, I don't even think you would bowl all 30 weeks. I think you would quit after 12.
Why would I quit?
Because your average would be 150.
It's close to that now, the way I'm bowling.
Meanwhile, you call me every week and say, "Hey, I threw it really great this week."
I did.
Like,
I did.
What'd you shoot?
Throwing it good. It's not going anywhere. Not where I want it to go, but I'm throwing it better.
If you're throwing it good, why aren't you scoring good?
Because if you give me 550 more innings, I'd be a much better hitter.
All right, Geronimo.
That's exactly right. That's what we got for new balls. Somebody asked if we got new radical balls coming. Yeah, we do. We got a little bit yet before they come out, but yes, we do. The torpedo and the torpedo direct hit are doing very well. The direct hit is still increasing every week in sales, which is amazing. Usually they go down after 3 or 4 weeks. We're going up.
I thought we announced the new ball on the first of the month of this month. You know?
Did we?
Yeah, we announced that new ball on the 1st. Yeah, on April 1st.
I forgot what we put up. I forgot, but we had people there. Oh, the new Intel. That's right. We're still working on that. I'm not saying
we got a question. Here we go. Miguel's got a question. I'll answer it here. Do you feel the word benchmark gets overused? I feel like tons of reviewers keep referring to tons of balls as benchmarks. Well, you got to remember, we got 7 brands, and there's what, 3, 4, 5 other brands out there. Right. So call it a dozen brands out there, and every brand's going to have a benchmark type ball. And when that ball gets discontinued, they're going to come out something that replaces that ball. So, yeah, there's going to be that term floated around. I mean, what you consider as a benchmark can relate to a number of bowling balls in the market. Like the most recent that comes to mind is the Hammerhead and the GB5 Solid. So, yeah, I consider both of those benchmark type balls. They're smoother, they're controller, they fit more in the middle of the bag. They're kind of an all-purpose ball that works for a lot of different people. So does the term get used a lot? I mean, yeah, but there's also a good amount of bowling balls that fit that description. So what else are you going to want to call it?
It's interesting that and people's definition of benchmark is totally different.
Could be, yeah.
No, it depends on your style. Mm-hmm. Like a benchmark ball for me would probably be a low-end performing ball for you. You know what I mean? As far as, like, for instance, my benchmark ball is a sneak attack.
Okay.
With an 035 diff. But that's, for me, that's not even just benchmark. That's probably the most hook I'm going to use.
Well, before that, though,
I don't really
Intel
call
was
that
your benchmark.
Exactly.
Intel was your benchmark, and that was a benchmark for a lot of people. But Rattler after that.
Right, but what I don't, for me, it's not a benchmark. It's the only ball because I don't have. I need less hook. You know what I mean? It's the first ball out of my bag because it's the only ball I throw. But the reason I say that is, for most people, a benchmark should be in the middle of their arsenal.
Where's the snack attack fit in?
The snack attack is on hold right now because of the tariffs.
Oh,
we buy the snack from China.
From Jell-O pudding?
From Jell-O pudding, right, exactly. Pudding pops. So what I'm saying is, like, for me, that 035 diff is as high as I can go. So it's not really a benchmark for me because I don't have anything above it. I only have stuff below it.
Mm.
So for you, that would be a benchmark because you would have 2 or 3 balls above that and maybe a ball or 2 below it. So the one that fits in the middle. So benchmark, you're right, is a term that's overused, but it's a term that means this is probably a ball in your arsenal would fit right in the middle. Let's determine that as a benchmark, where it fits in your
typically the ball you're going to start with to get a feel for whatever the lane's doing.
Exactly. Right,
that's
I agree
benchmark.
With that. 100%. Right.
All right.
Exactly.
Well, I think we got to post the WooBox link one last time because all the late people that are just getting into the show right now are asking where the link is.
How many people are in there now? I'm just checking to see how many joined us late for lack of information. They only want the gift.
We got 375 people watching, 291 in the WooBox.
Yeah, so it went up a little. Okay. But I'm looking at questions that we had.
Well, before we get to all those, we could do a top 5.
Yeah, but let me ask you this. Now, somebody wrote, I got to ask this question. CW is on 99.9% of all basic cable, and it's an over-the-air broadcast. It's available streaming. So it's on a cable as well. I don't know what that means. Is that a cable channel you would get if you subscribe to cable?
I don't know. It's probably, you could probably have, just like with any other app, like I subscribe to Peacock right now because I wanted to watch Yellowstone. And it's the only way you can watch it, I guess, for whatever.
Right. Is that cable? Peacock? No, it's a streamer, right?
But it might be a channel that that's on like DirecTV or something.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Okay.
But they have an app, and if you're not a subscriber of DirecTV or whatever, like I'm not, it might be a premium, I don't know.
Yeah,
but
okay. Not important.
They had a deal for 6 months, so I $2 a month for 6 months, so I did it.
Yeah,
I was like, I can get through that whole show in 6 months, no problem.
Exactly.
So,
Let's do the top 5.
Let's do it.
Nikki's top 5.
Let's get it done. Well, we learned today that CW was taking on the PBA.
That's right.
What we didn't hear about were the top 5 networks that passed on the PBA deal faster than NFL teams passed on Shedeur Sanders.
That poor guy. Nah, not really.
What a soundbite. That was a good one. That was a good burn.
That was really good. I like that one.
All right. So these are the top 5 networks that passed on the PBA deal. They just said, nope, sir. We're not doing it.
Interested.
Not interested.
Number 5.
They slammed the door. They didn't let them pass the lobby.
Boom.
Well, the Cartoon Network, number 5. They just were just not interested. They said that they didn't align with their values.
No, their demographics.
A bunch of kids.
A bunch of kids.
I mean, a lot of bowling viewers act like a bunch of kids sometimes.
Right.
So I don't know.
A bunch of kids. It didn't fit their demographics.
Right. Yeah.
They wanted the bowlers to get slimed when they were bowling.
Nice. All right, number 4, PBS. Couldn't even get on public broadcasting.
The public broadcasting system. You got to love that.
Right. Because their time slots just didn't align. They had to be at like 10 a.m. on a Wednesday.
Yeah, or 4 o'clock in the morning on a Thursday. Or Thursday morning.
And bowlers need to have a couple of energy drinks and hit their vape pens a little bit more before they wake up.
Not while they're bowling.
I didn't say that.
Right.
I would never say that.
I know.
Number 3, the Food Network. You heard about this one. This is all you right here.
The Food Network? I love the Food Network.
Right.
I can't see why they pass. It fit right in.
Why?
I don't know.
French fries and chicken strips?
French fries, chicken strips. They
could have talked about all the culinary adventures from every snack bar.
Right. Corn dogs,
nachos, pizza.
Hard pretzels. Yeah, perfect.
Nice.
That would have been. They could have had a lot of opportunities for advertising.
I would love to have like Gordon Ramsay just come in. And I know he's probably on Fox, which is even funnier now, I guess. But have him come in and just start ripping bowlers left and right.
Oh my God!
You're an athlete? Oh my goodness!
Yeah. Well, although they are getting better, some of them are getting a little more athletic looking. Especially a lot of the young kids. That's because they're not old enough to get out of shape.
All right, number 2. Of course. This is their first right of refusal right here.
Yeah. How's that work that you can watch pickleball, cornhole,
air guitar,
not bowling on ESPN and El Ocho?
I think it would have been the perfect fit. I mean, bowling and ESPN already have a history.
They do.
Now bowling with all these circus games and extension step ladder finals they do, it fits with ESPN 8 to Ocho.
I agree
it's
with
so
that.
Obscure.
Maybe that's where they'll get the other 10 weeks out of.
Well, technically, I hope 8 because that would make more sense, right?
Oh, that would be perfect. Yeah, we have 10 on CW and 8 on, ironically enough, the Ocho.
Yeah, perfect. Maybe the PBA can get their own sports channel and then can be streaming 24 hours a day.
Non-stop streaming. They can go back and show the shows that were like on ABC TV.
Yes, it could just be, because it's going to have to fill like 14,000 hours of retro throwback stuff and 10 weeks of new content.
Perfect.
For 10 stops. Thank you.
There you go. And the number one was
obviously
Fox Sports, obviously. Lev the Negotiator.
We're not even being funny. They passed.
It always comes down to your product is only worth what someone's willing to pay for it. Do you ever watch that show? I know we've talked about this. I watched that show Pawn Stars, where they bring stuff into the pawn shop in Vegas You know,
yeah.
This is I liken the PBA deal to this. They walked in, and the guy has this like samurai sword from ancient Japan.
Yeah.
And he walks in, and the guy says, "Wow, it looks like it's pretty old. It's from the 800s or whatever." And what are you trying to get out of it? I want to get $25,000 for it. Well, let me call it an expert. He'll tell you what it's worth. The guy comes in, and it's
actually worth $1.2 million.
Cool. The guy it never goes that way. The guy's in there and it goes the other way. This guy's pretty cool. He knows how to take the handle off. He takes the pin out. He goes like that. The handle falls off, and then there's usually a name on there.
Oh, the maker, yeah.
The maker, right? And certain makers are well known, and others are forged. And the guy wanted $25,000, and he goes, "Wow, this is if it had this guy's name on it, it'd be worth $750,000. But this is a knockoff from ancient Japan, and it's worth in its condition $1,500.
Yeah.
So the guy behind the counter goes, "Well, 25,000 is out of the question. Will you take $750?"
Right.
And the guy goes, "Well, I'm really looking to get $1,000. I'll go to $8,000, my final offer." And he sells it for $8,000 because that's what it was worth.
So you took the long way around to tell this story. And for the record, Phil said Pawn Stars.
Not porn stars. Pawn Stars. Anyway, when you look at it, you go into a place like Fox and you're the PBA, and they say, "Listen, we like what you guys did last year. We're willing to renew the contract." And your answer is, "Nah, we got a better product than that." And their answer is, "Well, there's the door. See ya."
Peace
out.
It's like, yeah, we have the records already.
Yeah, there are records on this one. Anyhow.
Yep. But
so Tom Clark's off the hook on this one.
And you're going to talk to him next week. No show next week.
No show. No show next week. Mm-hmm. No show, Artie. I'm in USBC Hall of Fame. My buddy Keith Hamilton is going into the Hall of Fame with some other people.
Yeah, congratulations, Keith. He actually reached out to us last week. He sent a really nice email.
Congratulated us on our 100th show.
Yes.
That might have been the only show he ever watched, but it was our 100th show. Keith's been in the journal, the media business forever.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good friend of mine. Very good friend of mine. And it's pretty
so much
cool.
So that you don't you exclude him from your yearly.
We're not talking about the secret dinner. No, don't talk about.
Don't you exclude him from the secret dinner?
Exactly.
Because he showed up that one year and.
Yeah, he acts like it doesn't bother him, but I know it does.
Hey,
This is
Keith,
the 21st year.
Hey Keith, if you want to know where the secret dinner is, I'll let you know because I got the information. Phil's laughing at me like I wouldn't be able to find out, but it's gonna be really easy, Phil.
I know it.
Unless you leave your phone in the hotel, you can be tracked.
I can be tracked. You can't track my phone.
Of course I can.
No, you can't.
Yeah, I can.
I'll call the FBI. Let's pick a winner.
Are we ready?
Any comments? We have any? I'm not in a hurry.
I haven't even picked a winner yet.
You want to get done because you want to go watch the Dodgers at 3:10.
Are they winning? Can anybody give me a score update?
3:10. It's 4:10 by you, right?
Yeah.
I can give you a score update.
Let's see what we got here. I don't even know.
Dodgers on today.
I got bad service up in this room.
4-0. They're winning.
Oh, nice.
They're playing the Marlins.
Yep. Perfect. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
The Marlins. So, anyway.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I got to find a question for you.
I'm looking. I'm starting to look.
Why don't you talk about what Radical's kind of been working on? Like maybe we can get Stevie Fresh in on a show soon.
Yeah, we have to do that. Matter of fact, we probably have an announcement coming for balls, not in the near, not too far distant future. We'll have Stevie Fresh come on and talk about him a little bit and some new drilling stuff we're working on. Let's talk about the product line right now. The Torpedo is really, really a great ball. I'm more intrigued about drilling it, and I don't really drill ASIM balls. I probably haven't drilled one in the last 5 years, probably. That's not true. I drilled the hitter, but I'm going to go drill this Torpedo because of the HK22C. People think it's a early hooking cover stock when it's not, and it gets down the lane and flips. So I'm going to go drill that. The Torpedo core is pretty cool. It's got the ratios that we like. The intermediate diff doesn't blow up, but the total diff doesn't blow up when the intermediate diff does. And launch at the same time was a torpedo direct hit, which is really doing very, very well. People are starting to realize, especially people that like to play a little old school bowling, stand close to the dry, feed it to the dry, use the oil for hold. This ball is really catching on. We've been back ordered 2 times already. We got them in stock now, and it's got a low friction cover, sort of going the opposite of what some of the high friction stuff is, because not everybody can throw the high friction stuff. And let's be smart. If you're struggling with keeping the ball on the right side of the head pin for righties and getting the 10 pin out, you got the wrong ball in your hand. There's enough area to throw it to that if you have the right cover stock and core combination, you can get to the pocket just about every shot. And that's where stuff like the direct hit comes into play. So look for those 2 balls. We got new stuff coming. We did some testing last week on a ball I'm really excited about, and that's coming out later on in the year. So we're ready and rocking and rolling.
And we got the wheel back.
And the wheel is back.
Because we picked a winner.
Who's the winner? Hold on, I gotta get my clock
your phone out. You gotta get your clock out.
Let me get my clock.
Is everybody ready to win?
You're gonna have 90 seconds again? You're being kind.
90 seconds.
All right. Who's the guy? Who's the girl? Who's the person?
Could be both. I don't know.
How do they identify?
Well, this person identifies as Eric Hamilton. Start the clock.
Eric Hamilton.
Eric Hamilton, check in.
My buddy's name is Keith Hamilton.
Eric Hamilton. You're the winner this week of the wheel spin. You have 90 seconds, probably 80 seconds.
80 seconds right now. And we're going to have, look at that wheel, all those good gifts.
He's here.
Eric's here. Wow, Eric was fast.
I know. And his name matches what it says on YouTube. It could be any Eric Hamilton.
Eric the Speed Hamilton.
Right. He was ready for it. He was like almost expecting to win.
How is that possible, Nick?
Well, I only picked my friends, right?
Yeah, he sent them an email. Eric, get ready.
Eric Hamilton, you better subscribe to my Brunswick channel so it looks like we're friends.
I'm waiting for the day where the guy says I'm here before you pick his name, and it's him. It's going to happen. Somebody's going to screw up.
Oh, man.
I think Nick notifies them ahead of time.
Hey, he even verified the numbers in his email. He's been a watcher.
I'm telling you.
He put the number 2000 in there. I didn't even have to ask.
And the winner is Tommy John. Oh, wait, I didn't tell your name out. I'm here.
That's so funny. He put the numbers of his email in there.
He knew what to do. He knew. He knew. Way to go, Eric.
I was halfway joking. I'm like, it could be any Eric Hamilton.
Yeah, right. Yeah. All right. Nick,
you know how it works.
We know how it works.
I'm not doing it with my right hand. It's too weird.
You're going to get a spin. If you like it, Eric, you say, I like it. He probably knows what he won already. Nick, Eric, what'd you win?
3-ball Arsenal. I think he's gonna get like a triple roller, which I would hold on to.
Just say I like it, Eric, because you know what you're gonna get already.
How big of a spin should we go? Medium?
I want to go medium to large spin, in between. I guess a 3/4 spin.
All right, I can do that.
All right, there we go. Oh, good 3/4 spin.
Come on, please make him pay with another 3-ball Arsenal. Make him pay.
No.
Here it comes. Oh, new ball. Good enough. He's keeping that. Unless you want to go for the 3-ball Arsenal. They come up quite a bit.
Yeah, we know, Nick. We know. Stop selling it off. I'm happy to get out of this unscathed.
Get out of this for 1 ball instead of 3.
1 ball instead of 3.
I think he's keeping that. Eric Hamilton, let us know.
Eric Hamilton, come on down.
Eric Hamilton, I will take the new ball, of course. But let's see what he would have won
behind door number 2.
He threw it back and said, "No, I don't want the ball. I want something else." All right, let's see if it would have been better.
All right, here is your torturous spin. Nick's got it going. I see it. Here it is.
Oh,
grip sack.
It flirted with the 3-ball Arsenal, though. But hey,
too bad you didn't go for the grip sack, Eric. You could have been down in the annals of podcast
Hall of Fame
reality history.
Could have been a winner.
Hey, so let me ask you a question. When they say the CW network is bills themselves as the 5th major broadcast network. Is that the same as us saying we're the #1 podcast on Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern time?
There's that old adage, and I think there's a book on it that says how to lie with statistics.
No, numbers don't lie, but you can lie with numbers.
Right, something to that effect. Like how to lie, how to effectively lie with statistics or something.
Oh, okay.
Like who's in that ranking? What all conglomerates are in? What show? Like, yeah, that we're the #1 because we're the only player on Wednesday at 3 p.m. bowling podcast. That's why it's funny.
Right. And we have the mob protecting us, and no other podcast can come in at that time.
Yeah, you got your family out of Kansas City.
Yeah, I got 2 guys named Rocco. Coming out of Kansas City, exactly. All right. You know what, Nick?
You know why that was a hub? You know why that was such a big hub?
No, why was that a hub?
Because geographically, it's center of the country. You can get to wherever you need to in no time. Right?
Okay. I don't know. I thought the mob was originated in Sicily.
Sicilia?
Siciliana.
Oh,
okay.
Domo.
We'll see you guys.
Hey, we done? All right, cool.
I think so. Yeah.
All right, great show.
Good show.
We're going to take a week off because Phil is going to take a week off because he's got to go to Vegas. And
we go to the Hall of Fame dinner for my buddy, and Tom Clark is going to
be stop messing with your mic.
All right. Does that bother you?
It bothers everybody.
All right. If that bothers you, raise your hand.
There goes everybody's hand in the chat. Yeah, so he couldn't reschedule the Hall of Fame luncheon and banquet to another time. Pretty selfish.
And I don't think we could swing that. I really don't, because it's 12. I got luncheon at 12:30 on Wednesday.
That's local time there.
Yeah,
so that's 3:30 here.
I can't do it. I can't get in and out in time. So unless you want to do it at 10 o'clock in the morning.
No, sorry, we can take a week off.
Well, 10 o'clock in the morning by you is 1 o'clock. 10 o'clock by me is 1 o'clock by you. You want to do it at 1?
Maybe. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
Probably not.
You just want the week off, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tired of looking at you in your Grimace shirt.
Me too. You don't like my shirt?
Your Grimace shirt.
Grimace?
Yeah. From McDonald's.
Oh, is that his color? Okay.
Remember the big purple?
No,
Grimace?
I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Oh, man. All right.
We'll see you guys. Nick, thanks again. And let's look forward to a successful back end of the year.
Let's get through the first half of the year first.
Yeah, we're almost there. We'll see you guys.
Take care.
Thanks.